Good afternoon, YouTube. It's John again here with another review. This one will be on the John MacArthur Study Bible in the New American Standard Edition. This is the updated edition. This one, I've had this Bible now for, probably 12 years, somewhere in that range. It is bonded leather. You know, it's got paste down liner. Got a cardboard, insert with a bonded leather. It's held up okay. You can see there's areas of wear on the spine. Good shot there from where I've used it. You can see it's starting to lift. The text block is starting to pull away. I'm gonna have to fix that. See if the more I pull it down, just wanting to pull away. This is a bonded leather with a glued text block. So this is not a Smythsonian text block, and it really does, I think, reduce the overall effectiveness of the Bible because it's just not going to hold up that long. I had moved on to some of my other study Bibles because they were really better produced, and I personally happen to like this MacArthur Study Bible, but because its fragility, I really can't use it all that much because it's going to fall apart. And I probably could rebind it, but because it's a glued text block, I probably wouldn't do that. So getting into the Bible, you've got a couple presentation pages. And then, as MacArthur, this one happens to be thumb indexed. I'm not a fan of thumb indexing, but at the time when I wanted this particular Bible, that's all they had. So it's table of contents, all the different charts and maps. And I will have to say, he does a lot of charts and maps that are helpful. One of the reasons why I like his study Bible, it is very effective. Probably the only one that's the only one that's more effective, I think, than this is the ESV Study Bible. Possibly followed up by the Reformation Study Bible, but by and large, this one is very good. Then it gives an introduction to the Bible, and his introductions there. I mean, these things are pretty detailed. He's got some personal notes. Let's see if we can get in here a little bit closer. About why he chose to do a study Bible. Then here's a thing on how we got the Bible. Very helpful. And you can see these are not quarter page, half page. There's a lot of it. There's a lot of content. Okay, then it says Progress of Revelation, Old Testament, Progress of Revelation for New Testament. Gives you some more information. How to study the Bible, another good help for those that would be new to studying the Bible. By and large, not the only way, but a very good starting point for those of you that want to get into deeper Bible study. Then he's got this forward to the New American Standard Bible. Scriptural promise, the fourfold aim of the Lockman Foundation, the preface to the New American Standard Bible, principles of translation, rather detailed introduction, then a general format, kind of how to use it, all the different things that are in it, the little tools that will allow you to get the most out of your text. Then it gets into the Old Testament. So you get the Pentateuch, introduction to the Pentateuch. I know I'm probably saying that a little off, but that's okay. Then you're going to get a chronological timeline of the Old Testament prophets, Old Testament patriarchs and judges. A couple pages worth. A harmony of the books of Samuel, Kings, and Chronicles. You get a section on introducing the prophets. then the first book of Moses called Genesis. So you get a standard introduction, author and date, background and settings, historical and theological themes, interpretive challenges, and outline. And his outline is substantial for this book. And then you get into the first chapter of Genesis. And you'll see this format is like the ESV, with the exception of this is a double column format, double column of text with references in the middle, and then down below is all the commentary. And each page will be different. So I'll flip through here and you'll see some pages. This is in Exodus. It's about a 50, maybe a 60-40 split. Down here, it's more like a 70-30 split. Then you're going to have other books that are going to be smaller. You're going to have some maps. None of them are in color. This one happens to be the city of David. This is in 2 Samuel. So this is the city of David at the time of 2 Samuel. And you'll still get some study notes above it. And then you'll have the text with references in the middle. So we flip through to the New Testament. So New Testament will start blank page indicating this is New Testament. Introduction to the Gospels. And then it's going to give you a timeline, a chronological timeline of the Roman Empire in the New Testament era, and then another one on the ministry of Jesus Christ. Harmony of the Gospels, and this is quite substantial, several pages long. Then a brief overview of Christ's life, Christ's Passion Week, and then it gets into the book of Matthew. And much like the other books in the Old Testament, you get a title, an author and date, a background and setting, historical and theological themes. You get the interpretive challenges. Then you get a pretty comprehensive outline as well. And then it starts out in the very first book. I highly recommend this Bible for those of you that like MacArthur. You may not agree with everything he says. But he is theologically sound. When you're talking about primary issues, he's very sound. If you have disagreements with secondary or tertiary issues, that's all right. It's as long as the primary areas we're all in agreement upon, then the differences we have in our secondary and tertiary issues are things that can be we can agree to disagree on and still be civil with one another. It's some of the reasons why that we have differences in our denominations. It's more the secondary and tertiary issues than it is the primary, in my opinion, for what it's worth. So here's Money, Weights, and Measures. This is the back of the New Testament. Well, it does have, I really should scroll back a little bit further. So get through Revelation. All right, and under the appendices, you have the character of genuine saving faith, read through the Bible in a year, overview of theology, index to key Bible doctrines, money, weights, and measures, and concordance. So you'll see he's got these things broken out. This is the Bible reading plan in a year. Here's all the characteristics of genuine saving faith. It's dedicated to one page. Then he has a reading through the Bible in a year, overview of theology, key index to key Bible doctrines. And this is very helpful. It's a very, very helpful index. I've used it many times. Flip through. You've got a concordance. Well, this is Last Things. Let's see. Here's that money, weights, and measures. Let me get past this. Okay, and here's where the concordance starts. And then the concordance runs pretty much to the end of the Bible. So it's a decent concordance. It's not great. He does have some maps. Spin this around here. They're not the greatest maps. I've seen by far better in some of my other Bibles, but for general point of view, for trying to figure out where things are and read about it, I guess it's okay. It's kind of a glossy kind of paper. Let's see. The Holy Land and Christ timeline. Christ time, rather. So it's got a decent amount of maps. It's got another blank page, the vinyl back, and then the back page of the Bible. And it's still rather stiff. And this is even after I've treated it with my leather protectant, trying to keep it good. But I've tried shoe polishing the edges, trying to get the wear of the bonded leather where the finishes come off. It just doesn't hold. As much as I do it, it continues to come off. Eventually, I will upgrade this to a better one. But the challenge I find with MacArthur Study Bible, I like the NASB translation. But the challenge is, lately, they only carry this in a glued book block. It's not a Smithsonian book block, and I just don't understand why. I love his study notes. I love the format. It's a super helpful study Bible. It's just not of any value long term because it'll fall apart. And one of the pastors I follow, Pastor Brett, says the same thing pretty consistently. A glued text block just doesn't last. So he doesn't send them into the prisons because they're going to fall apart. If this was my everyday driver and this is what I was using every single solitary day, this cover would have been long shredded. I have other study Bibles I use that are Smithsonian, that are in better condition. I just haven't been able to replace this with a good one. I can buy it a hardcover, but to be honest with you, I don't like hardcover Bibles personally. For my use, I like the leather, although this is it's not leather. It just makes it hard to find what I'm looking for. So eventually I'll find what I'm looking for. Maybe one day I'll buy the hardcover and just have it rebound, because the hardcover is a Smithsonian book block. But I would recommend this study Bible in the New American Standard version. I don't have it in ESV from MacArthur, although I wouldn't imagine it would be much different. As you can see, let me get down, it lays pretty flat. Let's get to the beginning of Genesis. Let's see. So you can see it lays pretty flat. I mean, for what it is. It's not bad. The ribbon is cheesy at best. It's frayed. This thing was a daily driver for almost a year before I kind of had to set it aside because it was showing signs of wear, very quick wear, and I just didn't want to lose the Bible yet until I had the chance to replace it. And to be honest with you, I've replaced and purchased some other translations that have been helpful for my studies, and I just haven't got to this. So I would recommend the MacArthur Study Bible. I just don't know if I would recommend it in getting it in bonded leather or even genuine leather. If the book block isn't sewn, if it's a glued book block, I would not recommend it, just because it'll fall apart on you. If it's a Smithsonian book block and in genuine leather, so maybe like that pigskin leather, I would recommend that at that point in time. So it's a 50-50. I like the content a lot. I like the layout. I love the content. I don't like the construction. So that's take it for what it's worth. good Bible overall, good study Bible overall, but poor construction. So I would rate this like a 85 on the biblical content, or even a 90, but I would rate it like a 20% for construction. It's probably one of the worst constructed Bibles that are glued that I've seen. I've got two smaller Bibles that I'll be doing review on that were my very first Bibles I was given when I was part of the Methodist Church back in my early teens. And those are glued, and believe it or not, those have actually held up better than this one. So I don't know if it's because this is a much larger Bible and it's in it more frequently, but it just doesn't hold up as well. So it's a shame, because this really is a good Bible. So if you have any questions, any thoughts, leave them down below in the description. And if you kind of like this, please subscribe, like the video. I'd love to hear comments if anyone has any thoughts on this. And we'll see you in the next video.